most of our practices, let's get started in our easy seat. Finding a spot on our mat to sit down, be still, letting the eyes close. Just taking a few moments to listen to our inhales and our exhales. Taking in some deep breaths through the nose and out. Now we're taking a moment to remind ourselves that like any activity in life, you never want to just dive right in. Let's take that moment of stillness. Maybe a moment to take a few deep breaths. A moment to get our mind in the right place. After our next inhale, we can bring our arms up and over, maybe the gaze follows. Exhaling, twisting towards the right, letting those hands rest wherever we need them to. Inhale our arms back up to the ceiling as we twist back to center. Exhaling, twisting to the other side. Feeling that coming up to center on our inhales. Exhaling, twisting. We need to go at our own pace and listening to our own breath. It will be different for everyone. Just letting the inhales bring us back to center. The exhales to twist. Perhaps we're noticing how we twist. Maybe we're noticing how much of that twist comes from our belly, how much comes from just moving our shoulders. Begin to wind down. Maybe we want to do one more twist on the left, maybe one more on the right. Eventually we'll come back up to center. Exhaling the hands through the heart, coming first onto our hands and knees. And we can always stay here if this is more comfortable, or perhaps we're coming into downward facing dog, curling the toes, sending the hips back and up. Maybe readjusting the feet. Maybe playing with the bend in our knees or pedaling out our dog. Remembering that this is your downward facing dog. It can be exactly as fluid or exactly as stationary as we need it to be. Looking forward, coming to the top of our mat, coming into a halfway lift. Looking forward with that flat back, hands can be on the mat or the shins. We'll exhale, fold. Reverse our swan dive, sweeping our hands up and over as we come to standing. Exhaling our hands to our heart. Maybe we're taking a moment and closing the eyes again. Maybe listening to the sound of our heartbeats. And exhale, coming into our chair pose, Utkatasana. Big toes and knees are touching as the hips come back. With some dynamic twisting, inhaling first, finding length in our back, reaching with those fingers. And exhaling, twisting towards the left as the hands extend out. Inhale, coming back to our chair pose. Exhaling, twisting towards the right. Repeating that on our own time, inhaling to center. Exhaling, twisting. And letting those inhales bring us back to center. The exhales to twist. Maybe we're paying close attention to those knees, making sure they're not moving as we twist. As we're twisting to the right, making sure that left knee is not trying to pop out. And vice versa for the other side. Getting to wind down. Maybe we want to twist one more time on that right side, maybe the left. Whatever feels right for you, whatever side you'd like to end on. Coming back to our chair pose, pausing for a big inhale. And exhaling to our forward fold again, letting the head dive down. Maybe we're nodding our head yes. Taking it from side to side now. Reverse our swan dive, lift all the way back up to standing. And exhaling our hands to our heart. Pressing down with that right foot, we'll send our left foot back for our high lunge. We have all the foot rests against the mat, readjusting our feet so that they're hips width distance. We want to be on train tracks, not a tightrope. Letting the hands extend up, playing around with that twisting now that we're in our high lunge. Inhaling first, reaching with the arms, and exhaling, twisting towards the left as the hands extend out. Inhaling, coming back up, and exhaling, twisting to the other side. Again, playing around with this at our own pace, knowing that it's okay if we find our breath starting to go out of sync. It's just a sign that we need to slow down, take a break, from the child's pose, modify what you need to do. And we can start to finish up, finding maybe one more twist to the left or to the right. Move back to center. If we'd like to come into a more orthodox twist, we can bring our hands to our heart, that left elbow, maybe to the inside of that thigh, maybe to the outside. Maybe our balance is a little wobbly. We can always bring that back knee down if we need to. Eventually finding ourselves back to that high lunge. Using a big inhale to step to the top of our mat, bringing our hands back to our heart. Maybe we're pausing, closing the eyes, maybe noticing the texture of the mat underneath our feet. Press down with that left foot, sending the right foot back, finding our high lunge on the other side. And readjusting those feet, making sure we're not on a tightrope. Reaching up with those hands. Inhaling to find length. And exhaling, twisting towards the right as the hands extend out. Inhaling ourselves to center. And exhaling to the other side. Letting to go at our own pace, listening to our own breath. Maybe we're checking in with those twists. How much of this is coming from our belly? How much of this is coming from our shoulders? Starting to wind down. Ending on whatever side you'd like to end on. Maybe you want to do a repeat on the right side. Maybe you're keeping it even and ending on the left, whatever you need. Maybe we're coming into that more orthodox twist, that right elbow to the inside, maybe the outside. Eventually finding ourselves back to center, reaching up with those arms. Using an inhale to step to the top of our mat, hands back to our heart. Pausing. Maybe collecting our breath if we might have lost it. Ending our routine, coming back to chair. Bring those big toes and knees together, sending those hips down and back. Perhaps we're coming into that more orthodox twist, bringing our hands to our heart. That right elbow maybe comes to that right thigh, maybe all the way across to the left. Reminding ourselves that we're coming into the twist, we're not forcing ourselves. Maybe we have a little further to go, maybe we like to press that top palm into the bottom. Maybe we like to extend our arms out. Whatever version we find ourselves in, let's gently unwind the torso first before lifting it back to our chair. Finding our twist on the other side, hands to our heart, left elbow wherever it needs to go. Maybe we like to press the palms, extend the arms, adding on what we like, what feels good for our back. Finding ourselves out of that twist, coming back to our chair one more time. Inhaling deeply and exhaling into that forward fold again. Feeling everything hang heavy. Mindful that we can always readjust our feet if we prefer that hips width distance in our forward fold. We can bring opposite hand, opposite elbow, letting the head hang in between our arms. Maybe we're doing a gentle sway from side to side. We're letting our breath deepen. Taking in as big of an inhale as it feels good. And as big of an exhale as it feels good. Let go of our hands. Let's slowly roll up to standing. Put a nice bend into the knees. Slowly rolling. When we get to the top, we can shrug those shoulders up and back, letting our palms face out, coming into our mountain pose. Taking a nice deep inhale, and exhaling our hands to our heart. Those are nice. Ending out our practice the way we begin it, with a moment of stillness. Listening to our breath, and listening to our heart. This is Abby Rose, thanking you for your time and thanking you for your practice. Namaste.